I'm here with Ryan Culbertson Fagery, aka Jiu-Jitsu Black Belt, aka the person who taught me Jiu-Jitsu. I have 11 questions for him. So starting off, how long have you been doing Jiu-Jitsu? How old were you when you started, and how many years until you got your black belt?
I started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu when I was 22 years old. It was the summer of 2010, and it is now 2025. So by my math, about 15 years. Took me 13 years to get the black belt. I'm casual. I compete a few times a year, train anywhere from 4 to 5 times a week usually. And now I teach some classes. So it's been a great journey, and yeah, it's a great time.
What got you into Jiu-Jitsu?
Definitely the UFC, of course. The UFC got everybody into Jiu-Jitsu. They used to rent UFC tapes at the Family Video for like 50 cents a piece, and I would just get a handful of them and just watch fights with my friends. And then of course that devolves into you wrestling in the yard, and then you start watching YouTube tutorials and you say, oh, I can do this, I'm in. And then yeah, after I got out of college, I decided I had to do something Jiu-Jitsu related, so I came into a bunch of local gyms and I checked them out, and this is the one I was impressed with, the Springfield Fight Club, and I've been training here ever since.
What does Jiu-Jitsu mean to you?
To me, it's like it transcends like a workout, it transcends a martial art, it transcends a sport, transcends a spiritual experience. It's everything. It's how you move, it's how you think, it's how you deal with adversity in your day-to-day life. It's how you relieve the stress. It's how you feel the confidence that you can beat people up if you needed to. But you get all that, and you don't have to take brain damage as a regular part of your week, which is a pretty sweet trade-off.
For sure. What advice do you have for beginners?
I have so much advice for beginners. Come to my fundamentals class, 5 o'clock Tuesday, Thursday. I got plenty of advice for you. The main advice I give is keep a notebook. Write down your techniques, write down what you know, and try to mind map it. So, write down a position, like you might write down guard in a big circle, and then you might have arrows leading off to other circles that say, arm drag or arm bar or triangle. And then you have arrows pointing to each other so you remember what moves are connected. That's really key. Writing out the move step by step, writing out why you do each step, drawing little stick figure cartoons. That's really key to keeping the moves. You're gonna remember the move and you'll remember it 6 hours later, but you're not gonna remember it a week later, 6 days later. So what you wanna do is when you go home, you wanna write it out, and then you wanna review it, 6 months or a year later, and you're gonna have all these moves that pop up to you that you already know, that you already got some reps in, that you can keep practicing. What makes anybody good at doing a jiu-jitsu move is not learning that move. It's doing a move you already know over and over. That's the only way anybody who's ever got good at any particular move. So accept that you can't just keep learning stuff and adding on. You have to drill the stuff you have already developed. Work on the high percentage finishes. Like you're gonna see that the rear naked choke, the triangle, the armbar, these are the most common highest percentage finishes that you're gonna see throughout your jiu-jitsu journey, and focus on those. And then finally focus on pinning people down and escaping other people's pins, because you're gonna be much safer in real life if you can get away from somebody on top of you. And it's the most important skill so that you can practice other stuff without worrying about getting reset.
Did everyone try jiu-jitsu?
So I don't think everybody should spend their whole life doing jiu-jitsu, but it's sort of like math or swimming, where if you can't do A plus B, then you should learn some math. If you can't stay afloat, you should learn to swim. If you can't ride a bicycle, learn to ride a bicycle. You don't have to do a triathlon. If you can't fight, learn some jiu-jitsu. Learn to bridge and shrimp and escape and trap and roll, and it'll make you safer throughout your life. Learn to do break falls, and it'll keep you safe. So I think there's benefits for everybody, and I think especially within the first 6 weeks to 6 months to 2 years, that's where you'll get a ton of benefit in your personal life.
Do you have a favorite technique?
I've got a million techniques that I love. I love sweeping people. There's nothing that feels quite as good as somebody just totally losing their balance and you slipping on top of them, going from the worst position to the best. That's always fun. In general, I love the rear naked choke. I think it's the highest percentage move there is.
Mm-hmm.
If you have your locus of control attached to their neck, it's gonna work great.
Yeah, I had a rear naked choke not too long ago, and it was super satisfying. Who are your favorite BJJ role models?
Oh, there's so many of them.
Top three?
Top three. So I'll say number one, Jeff Glover. Jeff Glover is my hero. If you want to put some clips right here of Jeff Glover in your
I can do that.
do it. Yeah, he's amazing. Look up a Jeff Glover highlight. He's the best. Always look up to him. It's hard for me to pick a few. There's such innovators of the sport. Like Gordon Ryan, of course, is the person that I'm looking to try to emulate his wrestling. His especially no-gi wrestling. And then, of course, you got to say Audrey Gracie, all-time great. When it comes to, if you're going to talk about the skill of pinning somebody, that's the man right there. Audrey Gracie's the guy to watch when it comes to pinning in the gi. So I guess that's my answer. Jeff Glover, Gordon Ryan, Audrey Gracie. It's a generic answer, but I'll stick with it.
What has been your most memorable competition experience?
I'd love to say winning, but it's always losing. It's always losing. It's always getting beat by something. I got beat by a K-guard trap pretty recently that I've just been obsessed with. So that's been, probably most memorable is always getting beat. Yeah, always getting beat by something. That's you'll never remember what you won with. You'll always remember what you lost to. And that's the value, because if you lose to something, then later on you figure out how to beat it, and hopefully you don't lose the same thing twice.
Yeah. What challenges have you faced during your jiu-jitsu journey, and how did you overcome them?
Oh man, a million challenges. Like when you first start jiu-jitsu, you have no friends, and then you get into jiu-jitsu and you're working really hard and you're just getting beat constantly. You don't know what to do, how to progress. It's always a challenge, and I'd love to say that goes away, but week in to week out, you're sitting there and you're getting beat by moves and positions you don't understand by good guys, and then you're figuring out those solutions and you're solving them. So it's always going to be hard, always going to be that path. And what helps me the most is knowing that I've been through that week after week after week after month after year. I know that there's going to be a solution to whatever problem I'm facing.
What are your future goals, both as a practitioner and an instructor?
Well, as a practitioner, I want to be more of a generalist, specialize less. When you're training for yourself, when you're training to compete yourself, you kind of get to do whatever you want. And when you're a coach, like I have been the last 3 or 4 years, you spend more time helping coach other people. So it's more important that I get a broad selection of my skills that are going to work together for a lot of different body types of people, and that I work those skills and understand those skills, than it is that I specialize in the specific moves for my body type as a coach. So that's sort of what I've been working on lately, is doing remedial wrestling, remedial gi takedowns, stuff that I wouldn't normally work, combos I wouldn't normally work, just because I know it's going to work better for some of the smaller or weaker or less long people on my team. And as a competitor, I'm trying to work more K-guard entries and K-guard passes, so it's so difficult.
I can imagine. So the last question, it doesn't have to do with BJJ, it can, but what is your message to the world?
My message to the world is, if you don't work out, you don't deserve to be happy. That's my message to the world. If you think that you're going to live a happy, blessed life and not work out, then you might be right. But if you work out, then you deserve it. You earn it. If you are depressed, if you're anxious, and you haven't suffered at least 5 times that week, then you deserve it. If you go out and you run, you lift, you do jiu-jitsu, you swim, you make yourself suffer, then you will enjoy the free moments of your life. And if there's no suffering, no physical intense suffering, then enjoy your mental agony, because that's what you get. That's my message to the world. Sorry, I didn't invent it. I wish it wasn't true. I want to be lazy and sit and eat Cheeto Puffs like the rest of us too. But if I don't go and work out and get a run in and do something, then I'm going to be unhappy. And that's my truth. I never get to rest on my laurels. I'll never get to stop sweating and suffering, or I know what awaits me. It's a fate worse than death. It's depression and anxiety. That's it. It's my message to the world.
Yeah, that's something I wasn't expecting, but it totally adds up. And there's one other thing I'm gonna remember later and get that. Thanks, sir.
Appreciate it.